What's up, YouTube family?
Welcome back to our channel.
We are so excited to be here. We are doing an accountability challenge. So we are going to be filming for you guys every day this week. So this is video 2, and this is a very special day because this is August the 8th. So it's 8/8/2023. So
new beginnings.
New beginnings. And we love that. We love that. And so we've already tried to read some of the comments from yesterday's video, and we want to give you guys a real warm thank you and shout out. Thank you so much again.
Much love and appreciation to all of you guys for continuing to comment, support us, share, and watch our videos. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and as always, as we start this video, we're going to ask you to please continue to comment, share, subscribe, like. All of those things help to get our content out to other people. And our mission is really to make this channel a channel that turns into a community.
Yep. And
in this community, we have healing and thriving and laughter and tears, and just, we want to make you part of our family. And so we hope that you're here for that. And if you're not, then, you know, we love you anyway, but you can always just scroll on by.
So we're gonna dive right in.
Yes, we are gonna dive right in.
Well, so going with the continued theme that we have been, we're gonna do an interview. I'm gonna interview Erin, but we're gonna get very specific today. And we're going to talk about, I would call it panic attack or anxiety attack. I don't want to use the word disorder, but I'm gonna talk about experiences, and we're gonna talk about that because Erin, as you guys know, she is in a great phase of healing, but she went through a period of her life where she was having a panic attack every single day.
Multiple.
Sometimes multiple.
Yeah.
And I was there, you know, with her when this would happen. So we're gonna ask her some questions about her anxiety and about panic attacks and get some information and get her perspective, because we know that there's a lot of people out there who struggle with that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And let's get into it.
So if you or anyone that you love or know suffers from anxiety or panic attacks, this would be a great video for you to watch, because we are going to really get raw. I have a feeling Chris is going to ask me, I don't know what he's going to ask me, but either way, I have this is a topic that was all consuming at one point in my life. Mm-hmm. And this is one that I have felt that God would redeem for me and allow me to eventually help others who struggled from it because of how it ate me alive at one point.
So it's going to be really great. And you know what? We're gonna jump right in.
Yeah, jump right in.
So, first question that we're going to have is, we're going to go historically a little bit, and can you talk about and describe when was your first panic attack? Where was it? And talk a little bit about what led up to it, if you can.
Okay. So, real quick, no, that's a joke from yesterday. If you were on the live, you would know. And shirts are coming soon.
I think it's going to be a thing.
But I will be honest with you. If I was to go by the traditional, what we call panic attack now, then I have the exact time.
Okay.
I can take you back to that time and I can tell you exactly everything.
Okay.
But as I've gotten older, I think I had them even younger.
Sure.
But for all intent and purpose, let's just start with the first distinctly recognizable panic attack. I was 17. It was actually my 17th birthday. You know, we were at the Dragon Den in Greenville, South Carolina, eating, when all of a sudden I felt like I was choking.
Okay.
And that was the first thing. Like, I felt like I was choking. I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I literally remember
But you were
thinking,
talking. Like
I was
you were talking, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I remember telling my friends, we have to go. Mm-hmm. So we left the restaurant and we proceeded to get into the vehicle, and I was telling my friends, you have to take me to the emergency room. It progressed from feeling like I was choking and the constriction in my neck to I was sweating. Mm-hmm. My heart was racing. It felt like there was something sitting on my chest, and there was just this impending sense of doom. Mm-hmm. Like I just knew I was dying, and you couldn't tell me that I wasn't. So they took me home, and thankfully my mom had a degree in psychology and had been working in that field for quite some time. And so when I ran into the house screaming, I'm dying, I can't breathe, she recognized it as a panic attack, and she was able to get me to calm down. Mm. I had no idea. It's like, you know how they talk about those moments in life where it's a life changing and your life can change that fast? Yeah. That for me was the start of hell. Mm-hmm. I can still remember it as clear as day. I can still feel the sensations through my body as I talk about it to you right now. The intensity, the fear, the agony of what I was feeling. And I wish I could say that it was just like, that was like an isolated incident. I had no idea that that was truly the beginning of probably the hardest journey I've ever been on in my life.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
For sharing that. Appreciate it. So my next question is, obviously that was turning point usually refers to a kind of more of a positive
that was definitely not positive.
So it was a life altering experience. Yeah. And it sent you down a
dark hole.
Well, it sent you down a path that I think ultimately God has used for the good. So what I want to ask you next is, so after that event, tell me about the next 5 to 10 years of kind of how you've begun processing what that was.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and tell you, the next day I woke up and I felt robbed.
Okay.
I felt like she was gone. Mm-hmm. Like, where did Erin go? Yeah. And who is this person inside of my body? So I immediately started what they call in psychology depersonalizing. It's called depersonalization, and it's where you don't feel real and you question your identity. You feel like you're outside of yourself, and I also just remember feeling incredibly hungover. Okay. The next time I tried to do drugs, which was the next day, later that evening, I had another one. Okay. And what I've been told throughout the last 20-something years of my life is that usually when you have a panic attack, the first one you have, you will associate what you were doing at that time with the attack. Right. And so I look in retrospect, I believe that I believed that marijuana was causing it to happen.
It was the activator.
Right. Yeah. So I believed that marijuana was causing it because there were so many times that I would try to smoke pot again, and every single time I smoked pot, I would have a panic attack. So I believed that that was the cause. So you know how they say blessing in disguise, or how God can redeem things. For me, I believe that God redeemed that by helping me to get sober. Right. Because even though I was still drinking, and the drinking didn't do it to the degree that the other drugs did, I was already stopping drugs because of it. I ended up getting pregnant shortly after that. I got pregnant on the 4th of July, and I didn't realize I was pregnant until the end of July. So from June until the end of July, my attempts of using were never good anyway. But once I got pregnant, I became completely sober, and then I was having panic attacks all the time. So pregnancy was hard for me, not only because I was 17 and I was pregnant and I was a baby and I was pregnant and now a high school dropout because I couldn't go back to school, but also because I was sober for the first time in years. I was living a sober life after living, like, when I say I was never sober, I was never sober.
So you went from years of being numbed or inebriated in some way, or
to
having to feel everything.
But after I had Dylan, the panic attacks got even worse, and I started seeing multiple therapists, and so for the next 5 to 10 years, we're talking about therapist after therapist after therapist. Every freaking, like, it got so bad that I did not leave the home. I didn't leave my home for 6 months. I became agoraphobic. I was so out of touch with reality. And eventually I ended up at the age of 22, my birthday, again, having another intensely severe panic attack, which landed me in the ER. That was the night that the doctor said to me, "Do you smoke?" And I said yes. And he said, "Do you drink?" And I said yes. And he said, "Do you have caffeine?" And I said yes. And he said, "If you want this to stop, you need to stop all of those." To be completely transparent with you, I quit all of that because of my fear.
Right.
I've been to at least 20 therapists at this point, and I'm starting to feel discouraged. I'm starting to feel like life will never be the same again. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll never be that girl running in the field with wildflowers, with her arms wide open and free again. And anyone at home right now who is suffering from anxiety or panic, please do not, even for a second, give up. Don't give up. Because I lived so long like that, stuck in that. I spent time in the mental hospital because of it. I feel like I have been like face to face with death on many occasions, where even if I wasn't going to die from the panic attack, I was going to kill myself.
Right.
Because I just couldn't take it.
Right.
And I'm only like getting upset right now because I just know that there are going to be people that watch this that are in the place that I was, and I just want you to know it gets better. Please don't be afraid to reach out to even us if you need somebody to talk to. I want to encourage you. I want to help you. I want to give you the tips that I've learned. It is just, it's fucking hell. It is hell. It is the worst. It will eat your life away if you let it. But it can also make you stronger than you ever knew you could be. So there is a positive side. I believe that to everything.
There is. There's a yin and a yang to everything. Everything has a balance.
But I mean, even what it did for us in our relationship, I mean, it almost destroyed us.
It did, and we'll get to that in a second. So, I'm not sure if this is going to be a question, but I'm just going to kind of state it. So, I'll never forget the very first time that I saw you have a full-blown panic attack, as you called it. And the thing was that you told me that it was going to scare me. The thing was that it didn't scare me. The thing about it is, and I don't know why, because I mean it was unusual, but when I saw you, I saw basically the process and kind of how it happened. I remember looking at you and just thinking, she's okay. She's just afraid. What would you, for a partner, so like let's say it's someone not like me, what would you recommend to someone who has a partner that does have panic attacks to possibly help them? Because I know that there's going to be people that will see that. So if you were addressing me on my side, what would be your advice to help them?
you know, when I would have my panic attacks and the first time that he witnessed it, I mean, I would flap my hands like a bird and I would run around the room.
But we understand more though why you do that,
right.
why that happens.
But I would pace, and I would flap, and I would just
you would pace back and forth. And you would
I'm dying. Something's wrong with me.
Yes.
Something's wrong with me.
Yes.
I'm dying. I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Chris, please call 911. I'm choking.
Yep.
I never believed I would get better.
I know.
And I am now.
I know. And
I just hope again that anybody that watches this knows that if you're in that state,
it is you can get better, because it is possible.
Breathing techniques. Take my hands and to grab them and to make eye contact with me and to say, okay, you're safe. You're safe. Now take a deep breath in through your nose. Take a breath out. Bringing yourself back to that present moment. The touch, the sound, the sight. Another thing that's very important that you can do is you can take a wet rag and you can put it on the back of their neck and you can put it on their wrist, any pulse points. And then another thing that has been very helpful for me throughout the years is distraction by math. So Chris would just start asking me numbers like, what's 8 plus 8? And I'd say 16. What's 16 plus 16? 32. What's 32 divided by 4? 8. And so he would do those types of things to shift me.
And so you're calming down the central nervous system, which inherently is overloading.
And another thing is just time. Like, if you can get the person past the first, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes of panic, their body will start to calm down. And if we can make it past that 30-minute to 1 hour mark, then usually I calm down enough to where I can be sensible enough to go, I don't need to go to the ER.
The biggest thing that I learned throughout the years was to just be patient with you. Because you just, it's like you have to process a whole lot of shit in that 30 minutes to an hour.
I think that in life, when you can take what you've been through and you can make it a lesson, and then you can take that test and make it a testimony. I always say that my pain has become my power.
Absolutely.
And so I just want to encourage anyone at home, again, this is probably, I don't know if this is the most difficult interview we've done yet. I mean,
it is. It's definitely the most intense.
I've lived with it the longest. It almost killed me numerous times. I feel like I did die some over the years, and I have fought to be where I am at. And it is because I have an amazing husband, an amazing support system, an amazing God, and therapists, and just all the...
But you know what also? You're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, you have to give yourself credit.
I do give myself credit, but
you're pretty amazing.
I just want to reassure you guys. I just know if there's anything that I can tell you, it's when you're lost in that sense of just dark abyss and you feel like no one is going to get you, no one is ever going to understand. People do get it, and they do understand. You're not alone, 1. And 2, never be afraid to ask for help. And 3, I don't care how long this has been in your life, you can heal. I am an example of that because I struggled with this for 20 plus years before I really started to get better. So that being said, as always, I think...
Remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And remember, guys, we're doing this because we know people need to hear it, and we know that they're going to listen to it, and it's going to help them. So please feel free to reach out to us. Our email address is in our bio. And if you have questions, we're more than happy to do whatever we can.
Yes.
So remember.
But we know you can get better.
And we know you can get better.
And we're here for you.
And we are here for you.
And we love you.
And thank you so much for watching and supporting us.
Deuces.